Is the former CEO of Shell Oil and the author of Why We Hate the Oil Companies. Well, we've got new reasons for that. I want you on, and I've asked you to come on for a reason. Obviously, thinking with inside the box and trusting BP to come up with the next attempt has not succeeded. In fact, it's gotten worse from the day we've been in there. We tried junk shot, we tried cut and cap, we tried everything here. I forgot, what did we drop? Top kill. We tried everything. Is there something that we would do if we were more adventurous? Is there some extreme measure that a company, say in a more totalitarian society, didn't have to worry about PR consequence like the old Soviet Union or China today? Would they try something we're not trying?
If you really want to stop a blowout, the fastest way, the most efficient way, is you blow it in. You use explosives and you build a structure around it to try to make sure that the force of the explosion goes down, not up. And so you need to build some kind of a containment structure, put a lot of dirt on top of it. If you were on soil, down below you'd find some other material. The soil would wash away, so you'd find some other material, and you want that explosion to go down into the earth. Now the problem with that is risky, because you're in salt dome territory, and a geologist would tell you that the fragility, the hardness of that salt dome, which sits on top of these reservoirs, if you put lots of infinitesimal number of cracks in that salt dome, you could creating a large seep under the ocean, which you never stop, because nature would find its way to push that oil and gas up through the seep. So you may not have shut it in. So you really have to be careful and make sure you know exactly what you're doing if you're going to go that extreme.
Is there any way to seal off this if you expose tomorrow by accident, just by accident, a giant tanker, super tanker, were to sink right on top of it? Right on top of the spill, gigantic tonnage in a wide dimension, in a wide berth, right on top of it, jamming it down into the ground, what would happen?
Temporarily, you wouldn't see any oil. But then you would eventually, with the pressure that this reservoir shows, the oil would find its way. Remember, oil is a liquid.
Right.
And it would find its way through various and sundry parts of the steel structure. It would find its way out, and it would begin to seep up, and you would.
It would come up through the ship. It would come up.
Well, it would come up around the ship.
Around the ship.
So it would spread out.
So what is left? Is there anything? If we brought in, do you have a sense on, based upon your knowledge, has this administration explored beyond BP to Europeans who do a lot of oil well drilling? They do a lot of drilling in Africa and in Saudi Arabia. Is there anybody out there that would have another idea that has been tried here in our Gulf of Mexico?
Not in terms of the mechanics. In terms of mechanics of doing something on top of the blowout preventer, I think every idea that has been imagined has been tried.
Above the surface of the Earth itself. What about down into the system?
Down in.
Well, what has not been tried that could be tried?
Well, Matt Simmons, who is brilliant on these things, suggests dropping a nuclear device, a specially designed, low-grade, small nuclear device down into the pipe so that the explosion detonates somewhere down close to the reservoir. The heat of the nuclear fission melts the rock, creates a glass cover, and shuts it in permanently.
Right.
Now, I don't know how many people would have enthusiasm for a nuclear device down the pipe.
What would be just to be blunt, because otherwise it looks like we're facing an endless destruction of our area here of North America. This is just going to keep going and going and going, it looks like.
There still is the relief well if the cement holds. The question about the relief well, is there enough mechanical structure left at the base of the reservoir to hold the cement when they start pouring cement in, or does the pressure of the reservoir push that cement up the pipe and it comes out with the oil and doesn't have time to set? Now hopefully there's enough pressure on the cement, enough weight eventually, that it holds at the base of the reservoir so that we do get a shut in of that pipe. People say 99% certain. I don't know if it's that high. We don't know what the condition.
Why do we keep hearing why we might not hit the well? We might miss it.
You're going basically from the top of the Empire State Building to north end of Central Park with a directional drill. Getting right on that 12-inch or so spot is, GPS systems are pretty good.
Can you correct it as you drill, or
you might have to make a number of attempts? So
no. Can you correct its line?
Oh yeah. You move the drill around all the time.
So you can correct it as you reach the target.
And you've got intelligent devices at the drill bit telling you exactly where you are, what kind of temperatures, pressures, and so forth. The technology is fantastic.
What are we looking at here in terms of barrels per day, do you think? We're looking at it. These horror pictures just keep going. This
Well,
isn't-
what I understand is there's a report going to Secretary Chu either late today or tomorrow, another rendition of what does it look like. And the more oil we see coming out, the more it tells you that the whole casing system is deteriorating. The fact that more oil would be coming out rather than less oil would suggest that the construction within the pipe is offering no resistance whatsoever, and we're just getting a gusher.
Okay, let's go to the beginning. We've got 2 minutes now. Let's skimming the surface of the Gulf to save the Gulf from this continuing spill, because it looks like it's not going to stop for a while.
I think we have not gone to the scale that we need to go to. You get little shrimp boats out there with skimmers. That's hardly going to find the oil. I think you need to be plying this back and forth with super tankers. I think you need lines of barges with big suction pumps.
Yeah.
Get the oil off the surface. But the problem with that is they're still using so much dispersant that all you get is a little sheen on the ocean, but then you get these big globules rolling up from underneath that hit the beaches.
Keep thinking. Thank you, John Hofmeister. Thanks for coming in. When we return, let me finish with a solution.